Welcome back to the Outfit Repeaters podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Shelby.
And we are your hosts. Today we are covering Season 1, Episode 7, Here Comes Aaron Carter. I feel like we say this every episode, but we're always like, this is one of the most iconic. But really it is because this is the first time we get like a for real guest appearance by someone famous. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Before we get there, Shelby, what are you reading? What are you watching?
Okay, so watching, kind of behind on just because it's been so busy. We've been watching now season 17 of Big Brother, and it's not as good as 16. Then I've been an audiobook fiend. I finished the whole Housemaid series by Freida McFadden. I read the physical copy of the first Housemaid series, and then I listened to the other two, because I have, 13 Audible credits, so I just need to, use them, and so, I listened to the second one and the third one in the span of, 5 days.
Wow.
So, but they're short listens, so they're, 6 or 7 hours, so that doesn't take me very long to listen to.
Okay, so everyone says that the third one is, not worth reading. Do you agree or disagree with that?
It's fine. I like closures to series.
Okay.
I'm someone who will, even if everybody else says it's awful, I'll still read it to have closure to a series.
That's fair.
I will say, I think the second book is the best one of the whole
Really?
series. Yeah.
Okay.
The first book, it's good. You can kind of see where some things are coming. The ending, you're kind of what, have you read The Housemaid?
Yeah. Just the first one, though. I haven't read the other two.
Okay, so the ending did kind of shock me. With the attic at the end, if you know what I'm talking about.
Literally, when I am talking to someone that has read it and I'm in front of someone that I don't want to give spoilers to, all I say to them is, the teeth!
The teeth.
The teeth.
The teeth!
The teeth.
Oh, no.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. But I will say I think the second one is at least worth, listening to. I thought the second one was better than the first one. So... And then today at the gym, I started another Freida book. Hold on. I've just been on a Freida kick lately.
I love Freida. I know that there's a lot of, mixed feelings about Freida on the internet, but I like her. Never Lie?
Yeah.
My favorite Freida. No
Really?
notes. It is so good. Yes. I loved it.
The back was really compelling to me, so...
It is so good, and when I was at my last job, all of the girls that were there were big Freida fans as well, and I passed my copy of that book around to all of the female staff. Every single one of them finished it within 24 hours.
I'm excited. I'm only on chapter 2. They just...
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Also, apologies to the audience if I sniffle or cough, because your girls had bronchitis again.
I got bronchitis! Name that reference.
Oh my gosh, I say it all the time. But, because I have bronchitis all the time. Yes, I just started that, and they just got to the house. So, exciting stuff.
Okay.
And then, I'm still working through ACOTAR, the first one. I want to read more of it so bad, but every time I sit down to read, I read 3 pages, and then I'm like, oh, I'm tired. And then I fall asleep.
Fair.
Oh, something else I've been watching, it's not a show, and it's not, I don't know, a movie. Have you seen the Bald Eagles on TikTok, Shadow and Jackie?
No.
The Bald Eagle Nest, the live stream? Okay,
no.
Let me check on them right now. There's a live stream. There's a live stream of 2 bald eagles. They're a mommy and a daddy. And their names are Jackie and Shadow, and they've been together for 6 or 7 years. And they go to the same nest every season when it's time to lay eggs, and they have a live cam of them switching out duties. And their eggs just hatched, but one of them went missing.
Oh no.
So, but yeah, because eagles mate for life, so Jackie and Shadow, what are they doing right now? Sorry, dear listeners. Oh my goodness, look. They're feeding the babies.
Little fluffers. They're so
They
cute.
are. They're so tiny. One of them got lost, though. We don't know what happened to it.
That's sad.
So, but that's what I've been watching.
It's a little bit of everything. We're very well rounded here at the Outfit Repeaters podcast.
There's one thing about me is I'm a woman of many interests.
That's true.
I don't just fixate on one thing. I hyperfixate on many things.
Many things.
Yes. What about you? What are you reading? What are you watching?
Okay. What? I'm trying to think of what I was... Okay. Because I knew that there was an audiobook that I had just finished right after we recorded last week. So I just finished a week ago at this point, The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden on audio.
I want to watch that one or listen to that one.
It's good. It's not great. It's, you know, I mean, Frida churns out so many books, and like I could go off on like a diatribe about this. Like, I think it's because Frida has a deal with Kindle Unlimited. So like she has to produce X number of works upon X time frame. So, you know, some of them are really good, and then some of them are just kind of middle of the road. The Boyfriend for me was middle of the road. I am listening to Who is Maud Dixon? I'm looking up who that's by. Alexandra Andrews. Listening to Who is Maud Dixon by Alexandra Andrews, and that's on my Libby app. It's another thriller. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm still doing the tandem read of Throne of Glass. I realized yesterday that I've like really screwed up. Like I'm way further behind in Tower of Dawn than I should be at this point. Don't ask me how this happened. I went through before I started reading both books and I tabbed them, and then that way I knew all I had to do was read to the next tab and then stop.
Ah, smart.
Somewhere along the way that got screwed up in my Tower of Dawn book, so I'm like 10 chapters ahead of where I should be in
I did that too.
In not Queen of Shadows.
Empire
What
Storms.
is it? Empire of Storms. So yeah, I've got some catching up to do in Tower of Dawn, which is fine. And then I also started. Yeah, I also started my first mommy book this morning. It's called Expecting Better by Emily Oster. It was recommended by my bestie Amy, but it's very much like a data-driven book about like pregnancy, because there's so much, what Amy told me, and I think Amy got this from this book, it's not that there are so many things that are bad for you during pregnancy, it's that there's so little research because it's too risky for a pregnant woman to undergo a research study to find out exactly how bad excess caffeine is, exactly how bad deli meat is, like all of these things, which is why they just basically tell you to cut out everything, to err on the side of caution. But I'm excited for that, to kind of be able to like better navigate some decisions on my own. And then watching, I think I said the last episode that we did start the new season of Survivor. It's going the way that the last 4 or 5 seasons have gone, where there is one tribe that is just so physically weak in comparison with the other two that they're just losing challenge after challenge after challenge. And now they're already down to like 3 tribe members. So It's like, it's just not that entertaining when it's like that. But it's going to pick up this week. I know that they're going to do some sort of like tribe scramble. We already got a preview of that. We're still watching Tournament of Champions on the Food Network. And then we've also been very into that show, The Americas, that's narrated by Tom Hanks.
Wait, what's that on?
NBC, I think.
Okay, I've seen stuff about that.
It's just like a limited series, but it's all about like animals in different regions of like North and South America. I love it. We both love it. And like the other thing too is that like you don't really see any animals die, which is nice.
Good.
Like there have been some times where like there has been like a predator on prey kind of scenario, and like we're both like covering our faces like, oh no, like I don't want to see this bunny rabbit die.
I can't.
Nobody dies. I think the worst that we've seen is like a bear catching a salmon or something, which I'm fine with that.
Hold on.
Well, are we ready to jump into Here Comes Aaron Carter?
I'm so ready.
Okay, so here we go. Season 1, Episode 7, Here Comes Aaron Carter. Original air date, March 23rd, 2001. So we open at school. Lizzie is running into the cafeteria, just like shouting like, guys, and ends up tripping.
Of course she does. Classic Lizzie.
Classic Lizzie. And then animated Lizzie says, at 13, you'd think I could run and talk at the same time, which, like, honestly, Fair.
Yep.
I can struggle with walking and talking at the same time.
I can understand why she's overwhelmed, though.
Yes.
I mean, it's not just everyday excitement. This is, next level excitement.
It is. So she sprints to the table where Gordo and Miranda are sitting and says, "Forget lunch, forget eating." And Miranda says the cafeteria food's not that bad. And here we are with the cafeteria food again.
Which we've established. They literally have, adult-sized portions.
Correct.
McNuggets. All the things.
So Lizzie finally starts to get some of it out and says, "Aaron, Carter, coming, here." And Gordo says, "Are you speaking in code?" Miranda says, "Explain yourself. Pronto." Lizzie says, "Aaron Carter is coming here to shoot his new music video Christmas special." And here I said that Lizzie is practically screaming this, and yet nobody else in the cafeteria is, clocking what she's saying. What she's saying is not attracting any outside attention, which, as I was watching this time, I was like, if this had happened the way that it looks like it's happening, where she's yelling this, the whole school would be stalking Aaron Carter and trying to figure out where this video shoot is.
I thought that too. I was like, why are they the only 3 kids in the entire city that are trying to find Aaron Carter? So,
a fantastic question. Plot hole. So Lizzie says it's not a joke. His holiday video shoot is tomorrow, and then Miranda is kind of confused. She said it's still spring. And then Gordo, being Gordo, jumps in and says, it's a film thing. They need 10 months to fill in all the special effects. So, who's Aaron Carter?
Know it all. Except he doesn't know who Aaron Carter is.
I know. And so at this point, both of the girls just ignore him. They're like, whatever. So Miranda asks where it's going to be, and Lizzie says she doesn't know, but we're going to find out. And here Gordo jumps in again and says, "Bet it would be real helpful to ask a guy who knows about films to figure out where they'd shoot the video." And both of the girls turn to him now. He has their attention. Both of them say, "Where?" And Gordo says, "First you have to back up and tell me who Aaron Carter is." And Lizzie says, "Okay, he's a singer, a dancer." And then Miranda finishes out and says, "And he's only 13.
Oh my gosh.
So Gordo says, "So this would probably be a lot more exciting if I was a 13-year-old girl." And here they start to ignore him again.
Of course.
So they again start talking about the shoot and trying to figure out where it is.
I noted here that Miranda has her orange pom-poms in her hair again.
Ugh, love.
And her excessive hairdo.
Yes. So Lizzie says, "I could interview Aaron Carter for the school web scene. I've already got my press badge from Mr. Ling. That should get us in." And here I say LOL at this because as a former journalist, it would never be this easy. There's security involved. You would have to be on a list. You would have to have clearance from his people beforehand to show up and interview him. There would be a set time and a set time frame. You would probably have 15 minutes with him. Is how this kind of stuff works. I had interviewed one of the band members of the band Fun back when I was a student.
About that.
I know. Back when I was a student at UA in Tuscaloosa. And yeah, it was all set up through management. And I had approximately 15 minutes to do a phone interview with this guy. So it's not you literally can't just show up and flash your press badge like Lizzie thinks that you can.
Your school press badge that you work for your school newspaper. That's right.
It's a school web scene. It's not even a school newspaper.
The school blog. That's where I put on the Google Doc. I said, "Dream big, girls." Referencing Lizzie and Miranda's next line.
Yes, Miranda says, "Maybe I could sing for him." And Gordo says, "It'd be pretty cool to go to a real set. Hey, I could do one of those behind-the-scenes documentaries. They kill at major film festivals. I'm in." So Lizzie says, "All we have to do is figure out where it shoots." And Miranda says, "And how to get in." And Lizzie says, "And how to meet him." And so later after school, the gang is back at Lizzie's house, all in Lizzie's bedroom, and they have a map on the wall of the town. And so they're trying to figure out what their game plan is and how to narrow down what the potential location is. Gordo says, a shoot needs a lot of space, so it needs to be somewhere big enough room for the crew, the equipment, and of course the set. And Miranda says, "Oh, and Aaron. Can't forget Aaron."
We can't. How could we?
So Lizzie suggests the mall. And then, I know. Animated Lizzie says, this is a cinch. I can snoop out secret video shoots in my sleep. And here, Animated Lizzie is hanging upside down in full spy gear. Like,
yes.
From the ceiling, there's, like, goggles. I think she's wearing gloves.
Yes. I put on there Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Lizzie.
Exactly. So Joe pops in to say that Sam is going to be home late, so she was going to order pizza, and she invites Gordo and Miranda to stay. I guess probably a couple of hours later, they're getting off the phone after having, quote, called everywhere to find out where the shoot is. And here I say, yeah, like you could just call and they would confirm that the shoot is happening. Like,
right.
You can't just be like, hi, is Aaron Carter coming to shoot there tomorrow? And they'd just be like, actually, as a matter of fact, he is. Thank you for asking.
Exactly. That's what I thought, too. I was like, why do they think this information is so easy to give up? Like, that plus the press badge, like...
2 words. Frontal lobe.
Exactly. I was like, this is 13-year-old logic.
It is. So Gordo starts to suspect that maybe this is a hoax and that it maybe wasn't true. Like that rumor that the school cafeteria serves squirrel. And here comes Matt and
they
says...
serve McNuggets.
Here Matt pops in and says, it's no lie. And Animated Lizzie says, I don't remember calling in Toad Boy for backup. And here Animated Lizzie is still in her Mission Impossible gear. And Toad Boy Matt comes sliding down next to her from the ceiling. Also in full spy gear. So it's Animated Lizzie in full spy gear, Toad in full spy gear.
This next line killed me. What he said, who told him.
Oh, yeah. So Matt looks at the map and says that they're not even close figuring out where it is. And Lizzie says, oh, how would you know? And Matt said, Lanny told me.
Lanny, we haven't seen Lanny yet, but...
We haven't.
Okay, I noticed that there's a few references to other episodes here that
yes!
have not happened yet.
There's one that I noted.
Okay,
there's one that I noted, like, literally, yeah. Like, literally within the next 2 sentences, there's one.
Okay, I want to see if we noticed the same thing. But we haven't seen Lanny yet, but if you're a regular veteran Lizzie listener, you get the references here. So they shot
because Lanny doesn't speak.
Yes, and Lanny hasn't come into the scene yet.
No. So the gang kind of huddles up and tries to determine whether they think Matt is telling the truth or whether they should believe him or not. And they decide that they have to give him something in order for him to tell them where it's going to be. Gordo suggests a lava lamp. And Lizzie just pops up and says, what do you want? And Matt says, I want to come with. And of course Lizzie says no. They go back into their huddle and Gordo's like, he's got to. He's the only one that knows where it is. And here Miranda says, he did pass as a super genius at school for half a day. And I said, plot hole, this doesn't happen until episode 15.
Yes. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like,
yep.
This must be all like shot in different order and they're airing it in different orders.
Yep.
So
they kind of...
Oh. Also, I was going to say the air date on this was March, right?
Yeah.
But it's a Christmas-themed episode. But Miranda does say that it's the springtime, but I don't know. So,
yeah.
I just remember this episode airing all the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
During Christmas. So
yes. Yeah. Although I feel like it's kind of meta, the fact that, like, this was a spring air date. It was shot in the spring because of the music video needing time to be produced. And we are also recording this in the spring, but it's the Christmas episode. So I thought that was kind of fun.
Full circle.
Full circle.
This is a full circle moment. We've actually been, like recording these episodes pretty close to the time they originally aired, if you've noticed.
We have.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. The gang agrees for Matt to be able to come, and he says, okay, it's at the Renmar warehouse. And then Lizzie says, thanks, have fun hanging with Mom and Dad tomorrow. Like she was for real going to pull one over on Matt.
Right.
And Matt says, if you ditch me, I'll rat you out.
They're not doing anything wrong.
No. And so they agree, and Lizzie says, fine, tomorrow morning, early in the backyard, and don't wake the rents. The rents. So it's a few hours later, and Joe is sitting up in the kitchen reading, waiting on Sam to get home. And Joe says, I thought you'd never get home. You must be exhausted. And she offers leftover pizza. And Sam says, no, I had dinner with a client. Joe asks who, and Sam says, Nick Morrill. The guy never stops talking. But, he gave me these backstage passes to Aaron Carter. You think the kids will want them?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. And so Joe says they'll surprise him in the morning, and then it is the morning. And Lizzie says that she left a note saying that she was working on a project with Gordo and Miranda and that Matt's helping, and then asks if they have everything. And here we have to start with Lizzie's outfit. Lizzie is in a metallic jacket, I would call it champagne color, with a head full of crimped hair. Yep. She's wearing red patterned pants. Mm-hmm. And then later we see that she's in a red shirt, but just in this scene, all you can really see is the metallic jacket. And then Miranda has another variation on her spider buns, wearing navy pleather pants with an orange crochet top. And you don't see it in this scene, but I am going to go ahead and mention it. She's wearing orange platform boots.
Which make a reference later, which I thought was funny.
Yes.
Also, my thoughts on this were, if I was a parent of a 13-year-old and a, 10-year-old?
Yeah.
And they said they were working on a project and he was helping, I would be
on a Saturday morning?
I would be like, ding, 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 something is up. They are up to something. They are known to fuss and fight. They are not, like, bestie siblings.
Yeah.
If I was Joe, I would not be surprised once she found out they were up to trouble at Aaron's party.
Literally.
But yeah, I thought these were very classic Lizzie and Miranda outfits.
Yes. So they run through their checklist. Gordo's got his camera and an extra battery. Lizzie's got her tape recorder for the interview and her school press badge, and again says, that should be enough to get us in. Oh. And so Gordo says, what's the plan? And Lizzie says, we'll just breeze through security like we own the place.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, Gordo thinks this is probably not a great plan, but he doesn't have a better one. And here Matt shows up with like a big sack of something thrown over his shoulder. And Gordo asks what's in the bag. And Matt says, do you guys have a plan? And Miranda says, yeah. And Matt says, this is for when your plan fails.
And he had a plan.
Valid. We've already established that this is one of the worst plans ever.
Oh, absolutely.
And so they show up at the warehouse, and Lizzie says to everybody, remember, just walk in like you own the place.
Yeah.
And Miranda here starts to have a fangirl moment and says, Aaron Carter walked on this ground. I'm never wearing these shoes again. And proceeds to pull off the orange platform boots. Which here I do have to point out, Miranda's wearing these boots barefoot.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Where's her socks? Where are they?
I don't know. And the boots are kind of like a leathery, like pleathery material. Like, you just know that wearing those without socks is going to give you blisters.
Oh, absolutely. And they were like almost like slip-on boots, so they didn't have a zipper.
Yes.
So there was no airflow anywhere in those boots. So they were not smelling good, I bet.
Yeah. And so we get a sequence of all of them walking across a crosswalk. And here I clocked something that I would have never clocked as a child. That the way that they're walking in slow-mo is a nod to the Beatles' Abbey Road.
Oh.
And I would have never noticed this. But this is definitely one of those things that they put in this episode for like parents who are watching in the background to like give them something.
Right. Good eye.
And so they walk up to security and he asks for their passes. And Lizzie says, let me handle this. I'm Lizzie McGuire, a member of the press. I have a right to be here.
And okay, if she wasn't so like sassy with this, he wouldn't have rejected her as hard as he did. He would have just been like, no, sorry.
Probably not. And where was the Lizzie from literally one episode where she was like, So we very briefly flash back to home, and you get Joe finding Lizzie's letter, and you hear it being read in Lizzie's voice that she's working on a project with Miranda and Gordo, and Matt is helping. We'll be back soon. Love, Lizzie. And so Joe says it looks like the kids got an early start, and Sam asks when they're coming back, and Joe says probably soon. Why don't you head down to the video shoot, and I'll bring them when they get back. And Sam says, I can't believe I'm going to meet Aaron Carter. I'm just practicing, so I'll fit in with the kids. I know, I said this made me cackle.
He's so funny. I love the parents. The more I rewatch this, they're so funny.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we're back at the shoot. Everybody is lined up, like, sitting against a wall right outside the gate where the security guard was. Gordo asks Miranda to put her shoes back on. And
Please put your shoes back on.
yeah. Here we find out Lizzie's press badge got confiscated and that Mr. Ling charges them $5 to replace it. Miranda laments that she's never going to sing for Aaron, and Matt says it's time for plan B, and he starts pulling elf costumes out of the bag. So Gordo says elf costumes, that's plan B, and animated Lizzie says that's it, Matt's going in the bag. And so here Lizzie asks where they came from, and Matt says the Christmas card picture they took last year. And you get a little sequence of the family all in their elf costumes and Sam dressed as Santa Claus.
Looking miserable.
Yes. Miranda says she's not singing for Aaron dressed like an elf. And Matt says, guys, they're shooting a holiday video. If we look like elves, they'll think we're part of the video. Animated Lizzie says, wow, Monkey Boy makes sense.
Okay, this is another reason why I wanted the Lizzie McGuire reboot. Because I need to know what Matt's up to. And I think it's something diabolical.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
So that's why another reason why I needed to know what job field he ended up in. I do.
So everybody comment below, what do you think Matt ended up pursuing as a career?
Please, we want to know. The people want to know.
Yeah. So Lizzie asks, who are you going as, Santa Claus? And Matt says, nope. And here he pulls out leather pants and a blonde wig. And Lizzie says, those are my pants. Matt says, I'm going as Aaron Carter. And here he starts to do this like arm motion that I can't even really describe. Like I just have to do it. But he kind of like, it's kind of this like halfway between like raising the roof and doing the Cabbage Patch. So he's kind of like, just like, ooh, 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 ooh. And so they walk up to security again. He asks for their passes again. And Lizzie says, we're extras in the Aaron Carter video. And they all agree. Gordo says, and we're late, so can we shake a leg, buddy? And the security guard says, scram! Nice try. Matt says, do you know who I am? And the security guard says, see ya. And here a set guy comes and says, I got him. Stand-in must stay on set at all times. Let's go. And so plan B worked for Matt and Matt only.
Of course it did. He's a genius.
Yeah, and Gordo says, maybe in our next plan, we can pretend that we're elves who live in trees and bake cookies. Lizzie says, not helpful, Gordo. And so here Miranda wants to just give up, and Lizzie says, I'm going to get my interview, and you're going to sing for Aaron, and Gordo's going to film it. And animated Lizzie says, we're going in, and this time we're not leaving anyone behind. And I had to say that here, now Lizzie, animated Lizzie, is in like a military jacket and a helmet, like this is some kind of special op.
It's really not that deep, Lizzie.
And so Lizzie says she's got an idea and says everybody follow her. And here we see Sam McGuire pulling up to the gate and the security guard asking for his pass. And so as Sam is reaching into the passenger seat to grab his pass, he looks out the window and thinks that he sees the kids. And he's like, nah. And so basically the three of them like crouch on the other side of his car and just follow him in to the gate, hiding behind the car.
That should have been their plan A.
It should have. And this is also where I noticed that every single scene, the security guard is eating something different.
I saw that too.
And so I will point it out as I have noted it. But in this particular scene, he's eating an ice cream cone. Like a licking an ice cream cone.
I know there was a donut in there somewhere.
Yes. There's all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. It's about to get fun. So Miranda says, Lizzie, that was your dad. And Gordo guesses that security probably called him because they confiscated her press badge. And Lizzie says, okay, new plan. Find Aaron, get Matt, avoid dad, and get out. And animated Lizzie says, no problemo. I can do 4 things at once. And here there are 4 animated Lizzies that are all scrambling so frantically that they run into each other.
Of course.
Shenanigans. So they decide to ditch the costumes, and then Miranda asks if Gordo got a shot of them sneaking in for the documentary, and they said, well, the coast is clear now, just get a shot of us now. And here we see security in the background again, and a chase ensues.
Yes, same guy.
And yes, and so here they pass craft services, and Gordo clocks that there's donuts, and Miranda finally says, we did it, we made it, we're here. Lizzie says, cool, let's find Aaron. And so here Sam comes close to the craft services table and is pitching a TV show idea to a guy that works for catering. He says, basically, it's a television series about this dad and his wacky life. I call it Sam McGuire. What do you think? And the caterer says, sir, I'm the caterer.
He hates his life.
He does.
The caterer does not want to be there.
No. And so security is finally catching up to the pursuit, and they see a sled with like a giant like present bag, and so they're like, okay, get in the bag. And Sam tries to take a donut, and the caterer plucks it from him and says that's for crew only. And so now we're back at the McGuire house briefly, and Joe has apparently just gotten off the phone calling both Gordo's and Miranda's house to find out where the kids are and when they're going to be home, and they're not at either place. And Joe says they're supposed to leave a number, and here we see the answering machine blinking. And so the answering machine messages the security guy from Renmar Warehouses and saying, we got a Lizzie McGuire here causing some trouble. So Joe, of course, grabs her car keys and her purse, and she's heading out too.
One thing I noted here, did you see how many clips were in her hair? Joe's hair?
I didn't.
I can't count them.
But that's such a classic Joe style. It's like a play on the butterfly clips, but way more chaotic.
Yeah, like, I wanna see her put that do together. I hear
Love
a puppy
it.
dog in the background.
We need a tutorial. Oh no, that was me shaking my drink. Sorry.
I thought it was a dog, like, shaking and their ears flapping.
I could see how you would think that.
I was like, we had a pupper. But no, but yeah, I want to see Joe, like, put this updo in. Just to, I've always wondered, I'm like, how does that happen?
Drop the tutorial, bestie. So here we're back at the Renmar warehouse, and they notice that the sleigh has stopped, and Lizzie thinks that they're on stage. And so she says, let me just take a peek. And then she peeks, and she says, guys, Aaron Carter's here. And Gordo says, of course he is. It's his video.
The sass.
And so Miranda asks what they do, and Lizzie says, I have a plan. Follow me. Because that worked out so well the first and second time.
I can't with her.
And animated Lizzie says, I think the plan is just to make it up as we go along.
That's always the plan.
And you hear a director shout, action, cue the dancers. And you realize in this moment that they are actually on the physical set where the shoot is about to begin. And here come all of these dancers dressed like elves. And animated Lizzie says, that's it, I'm dressing as an elf from now on. The director calls cut and asks where their costumes are. And here Lizzie sees Matt dressed as Aaron Carter. And here we have security again who says, ha-ha, we meet again. And this time he's eating a chicken leg. So another chase ensues. They push over an artificial Christmas tree on him. And the security guard shouts, I'm going to get you, kids, as they run away. And the director asks Matt if he knows them. And Matt says, never seen them in my life. And director says, too bad. I could always use more stunt elves. And then Matt says, you know, now that I think of it, I taught them everything they know.
Oh my gosh, director man.
I know.
He
And so they're
falls
on the
for
run
it.
again. They're back outside. And Gordo passes two women sitting in like director type chairs. And he stops to say, excuse me, if you guys ever need a fresh new director with a youthful point of view. And as he's saying this, gets dragged away by the girls. So Joe pulls up to security and says, hi, I'm Joe McGuire. I spoke to you earlier about my daughter, Lizzie. And the security guard says, yes, ma'am, she caused quite a ruckus today. And here he's eating a handful of Twizzlers.
I noticed the Twizzlers. Oh my gosh.
And so Joe says that she's sorry and asks for him to take her to Lizzie. And he says that they don't know where Lizzie is. And Joe says, okay, well, why don't you let me in and I'll find her? And the security guard says, I can't let you in, ma'am. And Joe grabs him by the collar through the window of the car and is like, you're gonna let me in, do you understand? And then Joe gets sent to set jail, we're gonna call it.
That was so funny. The parents had the funniest lines in this episode too.
They really did. And so we're back with the gang, and Miranda laments that they're never going to meet Aaron Carter, and Gordo thinks that maybe they should call it a day, and Lizzie is determined. She says, we're so close, just give me a minute to think. Animated Lizzie says, I've got nothing. And here they realize that they're in some kind of dressing room, and Lizzie says, all we need to do is get, and then she looks and reaches over and says, Aaron Carter's personal pass? And Gordo says, how are we going to get Aaron Carter's personal pass? And here Miranda exclaims, Aaron Carter's personal pass!
And, like, shoves it in his face.
Yes. And then Gordo's like, I guess this must be Aaron Carter's dressing room. Again, this would be a lot more exciting if I was a 13-year-old girl. And here the girls are, like, grabbing at his fruit basket. This is Aaron's orange. This is Aaron's apple. And here appears Aaron's manager and said, and this is Aaron's manager, wondering what you're doing here.
I liked her. She was sass. I loved it.
And so we're back outside. We're at the craft services table again. Sam is reaching for a donut, and here's the security guard eating popcorn. And he asks Sam, "Sir, are you part of the crew?" And I said here, it's really hard to believe that taking one donut from craft services is like a jailable offense.
Yeah, it's really not that deep. Did you see all that
Set
table
Joe.
of food?
Yeah. Yeah. And so they put Sam in the same cell as Joe, and Joe thinks that he is there to retrieve her, and he is not. He is also in set jail. And Sam says, "They're real persnickety about their donuts around here." And Joe says, "Donuts? We gotta find the kids!" And Sam says, "If security's that good at policing their donut table, it's only a matter of time before the kids join us."
Fair. That's fair.
And so we're back in Erin's dressing room, and the manager says that she won't call security if they leave immediately. And Lizzie says, "Well, wait just 1 second, okay? In the spirit of Christmas, maybe you can grant us one favor." And I'm like, literally, in what world? But the manager says, "Tell me what you want." And Lizzie says, "We want to meet Erin Carter." And the manager says, and animated Lizzie says, "She's eating out of the palm of my hand." And the manager says, "No." And Lizzie says, "Okay, just hear me out. Erin Carter coming here is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to us. He's cute, he's cool, he's talented, so please, can just one of us meet him?" And the manager says, "Okay, just one." And so Gordo and Miranda assume that Lizzie is going to go herself, and Lizzie says, "Miranda, you should go."
Oh, that's so sweet.
It is, but I said, I love my friends, but I don't think I'd ever sacrifice to let one of them meet a Hollywood heartthrob over me. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love you. I don't think I would let you go over me.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
I mean, depending on who it is.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who it is.
I mean, if it was like Justin Bieber and I knew it would mean more to you than it would to me, I would let you go.
I do love Justin Bieber.
So Lizzie tells Miranda that she's a really good singer and it's a great opportunity, so she should go, but asks for her to get an autograph. And Gordo says, "Lizzie, I gotta say that what you did in there was really cool." And Lizzie says, "Well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for Miranda." And animated Lizzie says, "My once-in-a-lifetime chance is gonna come around." And so after she comes out, you hear like tweeting
chirping.
birds. Yeah. Like it was, like she's like in shock. Like I'm picturing like old school animated like Looney Tunes where you see like birds circling ahead after someone
they got
hits
hit
their
in
head.
the head. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. What I thought was interesting here is like no warm-ups, no like vocal exercise, like Sharpay Evans like warming up backstage, like just went in there, been running around, just saying no warm-ups, just
Amateur.
vibes.
Amateur.
Sharpay Evans would never.
Never. And so Miranda says, "He says I have talent. There's no way I'll ever be able to thank you. You're the best." And Gordo starts to wonder if those two record executives are still around. And then Lizzie realizes that she doesn't have her tape recorder and that she thinks she left it in Erin's dressing room. So Gordo said that they'll wait there so Lizzie can go get it. And as she reaches up and knocks on the door, Erin Carter himself opens the dressing room door and says, "Is this yours?" And Lizzie says, "Thanks." Yes. And Erin says, "Merry Christmas, Lizzie McGuire." And they're standing under mistletoe. And so in slow motion with like some like R&B heartthrobby song in the background, Erin leans in and kisses Lizzie on the lips. And I said, in what world would this ever even happen? Even like on a TV show, I'm shocked that this wasn't a cheek kiss.
I know. This is such a like fan fiction Wattpad like
it is
moment. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And so Lizzie rejoins.
I remember watching this in real life and being like,
I know,
what?
gagged.
My third grade self, which, okay, plot hole again. Erin Carter is Lizzie's first kiss, not
Yes, I was
Ronnie.
thinking that. I was
Not
thinking that.
Ronnie. When, I think that's not until season 2. When
Ronnie, and we literally just talked about how we're already heartbroken about having to cover that episode.
Oh God, I can't do it. I can't. It's the first episode of season 2. We got a ways to go, but
we do.
Oh my gosh.
Strap in, girls. We have 26 more episodes before season 2.
Yes, bring back 30-something episode seasons.
Please.
Ugh.
Aang and Gordo asks if she got her tape recorder. And Lizzie says, Well, that's not all I got. And here I say they were standing right there. There was no way that they didn't see this.
How did they not see? How did Miranda not holler? Like,
I don't know. Animated Lizzie says, once in a lifetime chance, check. My life is now complete. And then you get security over the intercom saying, will Lizzie McGuire please come pick up her parents at the detention center? And Lizzie says, well, I guess my parents aren't going anywhere for a while. And here the security guard comes up behind them, and neither are you. Come with me now. But then the director and Matt, dressed as Aaron, join them and says, hang on a second, are these your friends? And Matt said, yep, the greatest stunt elves in the business. And the director says, they're with us. How would you like to be in Aaron Carter's video? And of course, they're all like gooped and gagged, speechless. And he says, I'll take that as a yes. And Animated Lizzie says, looks like we're all invited to Aaron's party. Everyone except for me. Wait up, you guys. I want to be in Aaron's video, too. So here we get the full music video.
Yes. Did they film this music video while they left Sam and Joe in set jail?
Probably.
Because she said, my parents aren't going anywhere for a while.
Yeah. And so here we get the full video. It's Aaron singing I Want Candy on a Christmas set. And I have the following notes. First, they got onto set under the guise that they were stunt elves, but then they get a featured role in the video with full hair, makeup, and wardrobe.
Not as elves.
Not as elves.
Although I did love these outfits. I loved these outfits.
Yes. And so Miranda is in like a velvet looking turtleneck with red pants, and Lizzie is in a red long sleeve top with fur lined cuffs with bare midriff and metallic silver pants.
So oops, I did it again. I want those silver pants. I found some on Shein, and I might just order them.
You should.
I might. They're only $10.
And so Matt is also in the video. He's just in like a long sleeve red shirt with like a red ear warmer and red gloves and a black
ski lodge.
Yeah, like a black fleece vest, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's kind of just again doing his thing where he's just like bebopping. Aaron is like singing to the girls.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of hip action happening here.
I know. I was like, what is happening? Like,
where was that hip action when Lizzie, aka Hillary, was doing With Love? The hip action wasn't in the room with us.
When she was in her 20s?
Yeah.
Or when she tried out for cheerleading.
And then you also get the security guard randomly running through the music video set and like jumping up and down with Aaron.
Why is he here?
Why is the man here?
Why is the man here?
And literally, like, just the last thing I had to say is that this video is so chaotic.
Yeah.
So chaotic.
The camera angles are like, whoo, whoo, like, look, slow motion. Zoom in. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need a Dramamine, but I love it.
Yeah. And then I had one, like, outtake related note. Do you have any other notes on, like, the episode itself?
No, that's...
Okay. I have one outtake related note, and it's when Mission Impossible Lizzie and Toad Mission Impossible Matt are hanging next to each other. Animated Lizzie tries to like bump Matt. He bumps her back, and then they both start swatting at each other.
Yes.
Which is just like a very like brother-sister moment that was funny.
Yes. And then there was another outtake moment with they were like waiting. Hilary Duff went to the door. And they were, like, waiting. She knocked on the door. She was waiting for Aaron to open it. And then it was producers or, like, PAs in the background. And they
chunked pillows at her.
Yes, they chunked pillows at her and scared her. Which
I love it.
I thought that was funny.
Okay, so, like, outfit and line of the episode. What are we thinking?
My favorite outfit is Lizzie's silver pants.
Obviously.
Like, so good. But I also want to give honorable mention to Miranda's platform boots.
Yes. Agree. We have really good fashion in this episode. Even though we only have 2 outfits.
Yes. I loved all the crimped hair too.
Yes.
Very, very classic.
And what about line of the episode?
Line, when Sam was like, I'm gonna meet Aaron Carter.
Dang it, that was mine too.
And then also, I have 2. And then, well, I have several. I'm just gonna go through a couple of them.
Okay, please do.
And then when Joe, like, grabbed the security guard by the neck and was like, you're gonna let me in, and you can let me in now.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny. And then when Gordo told Miranda, like, will you please put your shoes back on? And then
literally so gross.
Another Gordo one when they were on set hiding in the bag, and Lizzie like peeks her head out and she's like, "Guys, Aaron Carter's here," and he was like, "Of course he is. It's his video." Yeah. Gordo was so sick of them at the end of the day.
He was. So since you've already covered my favorite line, which was Sam, I'm going to give honorable mention to Gordo saying, I guess this would be a lot more exciting if I was a 13-year-old girl.
He's right. It would.
But also respectfully, like, a famous person is a famous person. I'm still surprised that Gordo doesn't know who Aaron Carter is, like, period.
That's true. Of course.
Like, he may not know Aaron's music, but he should at least know he's a famous singer.
And I'm sure, like, Lizzie and Miranda have talked about him. Like,
surely
before. Unless he
surely they've forced him to listen to Aaron's party.
I know, right? Unless he just, when they get, like, this way, he just starts tuning them out.
Yeah. Oh my god, I forgot that I said that I had an Aaron Carter story. Which I don't know, like, I hope that this isn't slander, but you can't slander a dead person, right?
I don't think so.
R.I.P. Aaron. Okay, so... when I lived in Birmingham, I had a roommate that worked part-time for iHeartRadio when they would do, like, random pop-up shows. At the time, our iHeartRadio was doing a lot of, like, just random free concerts at venues around Birmingham. And at that time, also, Aaron Carter was so irrelevant that the only jobs he was booking were at, like, deserted shopping malls. Mm. And another girl that was working for iHeartRadio part-time with my roommate was... I think, like, at that time, she was the most recent Miss Alabama. And apparently, at this Aaron Carter pop-up show that they both worked, he tried to hit on the former recent Miss Alabama and allegedly said to her, like, all those rumors about me having STDs, they're not true, girl. I'm clean.
Was this at the Galleria?
No, it was at Brookwood. Which, like, I don't even think Brookwood is, like, there at all anymore other than, like, the exterior places for, like, food. Like,
oh, no.
The mall itself, I don't think
the Galleria? It was at Brookwood?
It was
if
at
you're
Brookwood.
From Alabama, you understand this. But...
He was that low budget that all he could book was Brookwood Village.
Oh, my gosh, Aaron. I don't think
that's...
Oh,
how the mighty have fallen.
That sounds like something you would read on Reddit, so...
It really does. And again... alleged, I'm getting all of this as secondhand information, or I guess technically third-hand information, because my roommate got it from this girl, and then my roommate relayed the information to me. So, is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. But rest easy, Aaron. Fly high.
Yes, Aaron. Fly high. We remember you fondly. I remember, where were you when you found out that Aaron Carter died?
I have no idea.
I remember texting you. I was like, Aaron Carter!
That tracks. I
was dating my husband at the time, and we were living apart. Like, he was still living in Coleman, and I was living in Tuscaloosa. And I remember being in his living room in Coleman, and I was like, Miles! And he was like, what? And I said, Aaron Carter died!
And he was like, okay.
He was like, who?
Okay, Gordo. Don't play me. Don't play me like that.
I remember that day. It's like one of those moments, like, for me personally, that's like when everybody that's from a previous generation is like, where were you when JFK died? I'm like, where were you when Aaron Carter died? What's our next episode?
So our next episode is going to be Misadventures in Babysitting.
Oh, this is a good one.
I mean, like, obviously the plot line is she's babysitting Matt, but I cannot off the top of my head remember, like, any relevant, important, or funny moments. So I think this will be fun to rewatch because off the top of my head I have no recollection of what this episode is.
I watched this one not too long ago because I was just, like, I was rewatching an episode for us, and then I just had some stuff to do around the apartment, so I just had Lizzie McGuire playing, and I remember this episode was on, so...
Excellent. Well,
yes.
Join us next week as we cover Season 1, Episode 8, Misadventures in Babysitting. That is all we have for this week. If you like us, please rate us 5 stars and subscribe on both Spotify and YouTube. Apple Podcasts still forthcoming. We are the Outfit Repeaters Pod on all platforms. And until next week, we're out.